Hey everyone, welcome to our video series, Canal Days, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of the elementary and secondary schools throughout South Hadley, Massachusetts. I'm your host, Carrie, here with my co-host, local historian and founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Como. As your personal tour guide, Robert will lead you through some of the most iconic sites and their legends of historic significance throughout New England's preeminent and pivotal state of Massachusetts. With his expert insights, every monument and memorial story comes to life. Afterwards, don't forget to check out his website, holyokecanaltour.org, to access the full Canal Days podcast and video series. Also, check out his free in-person public tours he offers throughout Western Massachusetts and the 2025 schedule for these special events. You can also book personalized private tours for groups of all sizes tailored to your interests. To discover all that and much more, remember to log on to holyokecanaltour.org. So, can you briefly summarize the modern-day schools in South Hadley that are still used today as educational institutions?
This is South Hadley High School, which is in its third edition, opened up, I believe, in the year 1858. Still in pretty fine shape for itself, has big athletic fields around it. Then there's a Smith Middle School, which has been around from, I think, the 1960s. It's on a middle school concept. And then across the street is the Mosher School, which has been around from, I think, 1971. And then the Plan School, which is now called the Scholar School, which its first edition was made 1927, but about 11 years ago, they got a new school for themselves, the same place. So those are the modern schools. And of course, there's private schools around, a Christian school, Pioneer Valley Performing Arts School. But where are the older schools?
Well, can you actually recount some of the former schools that were once used and whether the original buildings still stand today?
Well, back in the 1700s, there's one-room schoolhouse right around the Hadley Center, which is the only village that was used. And that was probably on the school somewhere on Woodbridge Street. And then by the 1800s, you got a new neighborhood, the Falls neighborhood, and they developed a little school down there on the Falls on School Street. Easy to remember. And the other one in the center started to grow more on Woodbridge Street. By the late 1800s, a whole big school, a multi-room school, was found on Woodbridge Street. And on my webpage under Hadley Schools, you'll find a picture of the Woodbridge School. And the same happened to the school in South Hadley Falls. And then by 1900, up came the modern schools, including one not there anymore, the Crew Street School, which is empty ground now, but it was a school from about 19 teens onwards into about 1980s or so, before it went out of existence for itself. South Hadley around the 1980s went into away from a neighborhood school concept and into having all schools being their own grades. And so they went away from like the Woodlawn School, Center School, into 4 schools which had separate grades from each other. And then there was the Woodlawn School, still there, made into the South Hadley Senior Center. There was a Center School made into a Christian school. And so each neighborhood had their own schools. The Crew School, Woodlawn, Center, and Plains. But during the 1980s, of course, they changed over. And a lot of these schools have been modernized. And I'm sure they're going to evolve. Next 20 years, you're probably going to have a new high school, a new Mosher School, for instance. They'll keep changing upwards. And of course, I'm not even saying anything about Montauk College, which is its own subject and is a college. So what we do now is walk out to the new Okay, we're in the Plains neighborhood now, and we're at the intersection of Route 202 and Route 33. There's a big ball field and a big conservation land behind this, but we want to mostly see the school today. Okay, so here we are under the main entrance for the school. It's called the Henry J. Scala School. Used to be called the Plains School. From 1927 to 2015, they had it in an older building. Now they're in a modern building like this. It's at address 00 Lyman Street. And I'll show you the cornerstone is right here. Next to the bike racks, it says 2015. So you can see it's a cream color. It's a large school. This is the gymnasium part. And the classroom part extends towards the left, where they have a very big playground area next to the baseball field. One of the reasons why there's a lot of activity at night is the baseball field, but a lot of hikers go into the conservation land. And you can see it is a very cool looking playground area. A lot of cool games to play. Okay, so check out the website for more. Thank you.